Hello class, and welcome to lesson 5.7, which is the review for the probability distribution unit. So I listed some topics to make sure that you know what's happening in terms of the unit. So just remember that all the data we used is called discrete data. So when you do your probability distribution, folks, remember it's the data point with a tail, so either like a tadpole or like a flagpole when you're graphing your probability distribution. Okay, just remember when you're taking a look at probability distribution that the sum of the probabilities always equals 1 or 100% because they all add up. Probability of all outcomes are to be displayed in a table or a graph. And remember that the relative frequency equals the experimental probability. Okay? All right. We took a look at a couple different types of distribution within it. Uniform distribution, folks. Just think uniform means equal. If everybody's dressed in uniform, they're looking equal. So equally likely outcomes, like probability of flipping a 2 on a die is the same as flipping a 3 as a 4. Rolling, not flipping. Same as flipping heads or tails on a dime. Okay, the next we take a look at is expected value. So we predict, it's a predicted mean based on probability. Okay, or a weighted mean based on probability. Just remember there, we're taking a look at the expected value, ladies and gentlemen. There are lots of questions that ask about fair game. Okay, and if this is a fair game or if this lottery is fair, then remember, the expectation is usually 0, or if it's a lottery, if it costs $20 to buy a ticket, then the expected value should be $20. All right. Awesome. Now let's take a look at another specific type of distribution we looked at, which is called binomial distribution. So remember, we take a look at this, the amount of successes, and we had successes versus failures. And remember that success plus failure probabilities equal 1. Okay, so it's based on success and failure. And remember, folks, this is independent trials. Okay, and when independent trials, that means that the probability of success remains the same throughout the entire activity. Okay, whereas P is constant and fixed number of trials. Okay. Then we took a look at a different type of probability, what's called geometric. Okay, and geometric has a different order. So this is where X is the number of failures until success is reached. Okay, so you're going to see the word before, like, you know, there was 5 phone calls before we reached the first one. Or don't forget, how long did they wait until they reached success, right? So wait or wait times. Okay, again, trials are independent, which means the probability of p-value stays the same, which means p is constant, and the number of trials is not fixed. Okay, because it occurs, success occurs whenever they tell us that. Okay, and the last type, then we had a mid-chapter review in there, and hopefully we learned the difference between binomial and geometric. And then the last one that I believe was in 2-part videos, I apologize, technical difficulty there, was the hypergeometric. Now the hypergeometric is where you have random selections without replacement. So that means that P changes, okay? So as we go, P changes, okay? And that's where it's highlighted here with each trial, okay? So trials are dependent, okay? That means they're not without, they're without replacement. And it's still based on success and failure. Just remember in here that we've got a subgroup, an A, which is a subgroup of successes. That's how I always remember it, subgroup of successes. And you see A in your formula. All right, so your job today now, after those topics, is to complete the rest of the formula sheet that we had started earlier. I'll show you mine. And then you're going to complete questions on page 406 and 407. So let's quickly go to that chart. Hopefully you got the majority of them filled in. The last 2 are the ones here that are identified as dependent trials. Those are the last two you should have filled in. Take a look at mine, folks. If you have any questions, please come and see me. Remember, all your formulas will be given on your formula sheet. Just remember that with the dependent trials, you notice there's going to be an A in the formula, and that's your subgroup of success. Okay? And I just wrote down here, you're choosing from a subgroup of successes from a total. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, as long as you know where to find them on your formula sheet and what words to look for or keywords to look for, you should be fine. I also have noted here, folks, there's a couple questions that in the past I've had difficulty when you're doing them. So number 4, number 10, and number 16 are here. And 12B. So if you need a hand with any of those, please let me know, as well as here's a solution that may help you. All right, folks, good luck, ladies and gentlemen, and remember that you're to finish completing your table, and that you cannot use during your test. However, it's a good thing to study for this unit and for your final exam, and complete the questions on page 406 and 407. Have a great day, and as always, come see me if you need any extra help. Ciao.